Salvate Omnes, this is Luke with my screencast for Caesar, Book 4, Chapter 30. So first off, some background on what's been happening in the passages before this. So the Romans have been fighting with the British, and they won, they beat them, and they came over to negotiate and say who got hostages and stuff. But the Romans on the way hit a storm and lost a bunch of their men and a bunch of their supplies from their ships. So now they're kind of camped there, but they're not in the full force of the Roman Empire. They're just kind of there. So, with these things having been learned, PPP there, the chiefs of the British tribes, as it says in the book, who, after the battle, had convened to Caesar, or went to Caesar, having spoken among themselves, when they understood in Telegerant the cavalry and the ships and the grain were missing for the Romans. And up here we have Polysyndeton with tons of ets, like he's saying this in a list-like manner. That's one of the devices he uses. And Cognoscerent, they discovered the small number of soldiers from the smallness of the camps. So they figured out from how small the camps of the Romans were, how they didn't have as many soldiers as they would have liked to. Which was, and this is Caesar's kind of explaining why the amount of soldiers was so small, which was even smaller because Caesar had transported his legions without heavy baggage or anything impeding them. So for speed, and he had brought them there quickly because he knew that they didn't have any supplies on their ships anyway because they had all been in the storm. So they considered or thought that the best an implied thing to be done was, and this phrase pretty much means to make a renewal of war, rebellione, renewal of war. So they thought the best thing to be done was to make a renewal of war, or to start fighting again, and to hinder our guys from grain and supplies, and to prolong the situation into the winter. And then we go all the way here to the end to find the main verb. For they trusted that if these, meaning the soldiers, were able to be conquered or cut off from retreat or from returning, that no one, or then, implied then, no one afterwards would cross into Britain, which means cross the French Canal into Britain, for the purpose of causing war. And so, this whole phrase means with a plot or a group oath having been made, they began to march off out of the camps gradually. So they're kind of sneaking around, trying to not let the Romans know what's going on, and secretly lead down their soldiers from the fields. So thank you for listening. I hope you found this helpful.